Welcome to Sleep with Myth. Close your eyes and let the world fade away. Tonight we drift beyond time, where gods dream and stories remember their light. The lion born from a broken moment, long before the first star learned to glimmer, before the first shadow dared to touch the earth. There was a time when time itself was fragile. People believed time was a river, steady, endless, predictable. But in the forgotten age of Valoran, time was glass, beautiful, clear, brilliant, and breakable. The elders told stories of the glass lion, a creature not born from flesh or fire, but from a single moment that fractured under the weight of destiny. They said the lion's mane shimmered like frozen starlight, its bones were carved from translucent shards, and its roar could reshape centuries. Most believed it was only a myth, a tale told to keep villagers near the hearth during storms. But Lyrian had always known it was real, because it had spoken to her in dreams. Since the day she was born, the girl who dreamed in shards, Lyrian lived in the quiet crescent village of Ivamar, a place where the sun rose slowly, as if reluctant to disturb the serenity of its people. She was an ordinary girl in every visible way, barefoot in the fields, hair tangled with wind, eyes reflecting the silver blue of the sea they lived beside. But there was something strange about her. Whenever she touched a reflective surface, a still pond, a polished bowl, a shard of glass, time rippled. Moments bent around her, sometimes repeating, sometimes stretching, sometimes fracturing into impossible reflections. Most villagers pretended not to notice. Ivamar was a peaceful place, and peaceful places survived by ignoring wonders that felt too sharp to touch. But late at night, elders whispered, "She carries the crack of the world in her heart. The glass lion watches her. One day, time will call for its debt." Lyrian didn't know what that meant. All she knew was this: every night, just before the boundary between waking and dream blurred, she heard the lion's breath, soft, steady, ancient, as if it were waiting for her. The night the sky trembled. The dream came again, but this time different, sharper, urgent. Lyrian stood in a wide expanse of darkness, not empty, but heavy, as if the night were holding its breath. Beneath her feet, fragments of broken glass floated like a frozen river. Each shard reflected a memory that was not hers. A storm tearing through a forgotten city. A king weeping beside a shattered throne. A child touching a glowing fragment of time. A lion made of translucent light rising from the debris. The glass lion. Its mane rippled as though stirred by a wind that the dream did not carry. Its eyes, two swirling galaxies of broken seconds, locked onto Lyrian. "You are late," it said, not with a voice, but with a tremor that moved through the glass beneath her feet. Lyrian swallowed. "I don't understand." "You do," the lion answered. "You always have. You carry my fracture." Its tail moved gently, scattering reflections like constellations. "The moment is coming," it whispered. "A moment that will unmake itself, unless you stand where time breaks." Lyrian felt her knees weaken. "I'm just a girl. You are the one chosen by the shattered hour." The dream flickered. The shards around her vibrated violently. A crack spread beneath her feet. A soft, delicate sound like frost splitting under the weight of dawn. "Find me," the lion said, "before time remembers how to end." The dream imploded into shards, and Lyrian woke with a gasp big enough to break the quiet of the dawn. The day that forgot to begin. The morning should have arrived. Didn't. When Lyrian opened her windows, the sky was stuck in the gentle indigo of just before sunrise. Birds perched silently on branches, their wings halfway open, caught in the middle of a movement they couldn't finish. The waves on the shore moved in slow, repeating loops, as if the sea were replaying the same breath over and over. Time was stuttering. Lyrian stepped outside. Her footprints remained fresh on the ground longer than they should have, imprinted like the earth could no longer keep track of new moments. Old Miris, the village's storyteller, stood in the square, his wrinkled hands trembling. "You feel it, child?" he whispered. Lyrian nodded. "What is happening?" Miris looked toward the horizon, where the sun should have risen minutes, or centuries, ago. "The shattered hour," he murmured. "It has returned." Lyrian's heart jumped painfully. "My dream, the lion. It warned me." Miris drew a shaky breath. "Then it is true. The glass lion calls for you." Lyrian felt a strange pull in her chest, as if something fragile inside her wanted to break open. "But why me?" Miris met her gaze, eyes filled with heavy, ancient sorrow. "Because time gave you its fracture the moment you were born." The fractured path. The world dimmed around her as she walked toward the edge of Ivamar. Not because the light faded, but because the moments faded. Laughter from children froze midair. The sound of a distant wave looped twice, then fell silent. A leaf drifting from a tree paused in mid-descent, quivering as if held by invisible fingers. The crack inside Lyrian's heart, the one she had always felt but never understood, began to vibrate, not painfully, but insistently, like a compass, like a summons. She walked until the village was nothing but a mist behind her. When she reached the old cliffs overlooking the sea, the world seemed to tilt, just a fraction, as though an unseen hand nudged reality out of alignment. The sky wavered, shadows bent, fragments of light blinked in and out like uncertain stars. And then she saw it, a path made of floating glass, stretching out over the sea, angled toward the horizon, each shard reflecting a different point in time, some past, some future, some impossible. Her breath caught. This was it, the fractured path, the trail left by the glass lion when it moved between moments. Light gathered around her feet, swirling gently. Then the same tremor from her dreams moved through the air. "Come!" The lion's voice, a quiet roar that rippled through the suspended sky. Lyrian stepped onto the first shard. It held her weight like solid ground. The shard glowed. The crack inside her heart glowed. And the world responded. Time splintered softly around her, like frost yielding under the warmth of morning. She looked forward, eyes reflecting the vast, shimmering path that stretched into the unknown. "I'm coming," she whispered. Then she took her second step. And the journey to find the glass lion, the creature born from broken time, began. The glass that remembered footsteps. Lyrian's foot touched the second shard. A chime rang through the air, soft, crystalline like frost singing under moonlight. The shard brightened beneath her weight, and the glass path stretched farther across the water, assembling itself piece by delicate piece. Each new shard floated into place with a whisper, as if time itself were assembling a bridge from its forgotten fragments. Behind her, the village of Ivamar grew faint. Its buildings shimmered like reflections seen through rippling water. Ahead, the horizon pulsed with a pale, silver glow. Lyrian inhaled. A voice drifted through the air. Not the lion's voice, but a memory. Walk gently. This path is older than ages. She did. With each step, the glass beneath her feet warmed faintly, glowing in soft blues, pinks, and pale golds, colors of moments long buried beneath centuries of dust. The path was alive. It remembered, and now it remembered her. Moments floating in the sea. As she walked, the sea beneath her changed. It was no longer the familiar blue-green she knew. Instead, it was a mirror of drifting scenes, as if she were walking above an ocean that reflected not water, but time. Below her feet, she saw a boy she did not know, running through a field of crystal flowers that swayed without wind. A vast city of spires made from translucent stone, its towers shimmering like blades of frozen dawn. A woman standing on a cliff's edge, holding a glowing hourglass whose sands flowed upward. Lyrian knelt on the path, hands trembling. These aren't memories. Not mine, not Ivamar's. No, a voice whispered through the shards. They are the world's. The lion's presence brushed past her like a warm gust. Not fully visible, not fully here, but impossibly close. You walk on fractured time, it murmured. Every shard holds a moment that once belonged to the world. The glass beneath her feet shuddered softly, as if breathing. But why show them to me? Lyrian asked. Because yours will soon join them, the lion replied. Lyrian swallowed hard. Will I die? Not death. A choice. Silence followed, deep, heavy, ancient, and Lyrian continued walking. The sea that shattered into hours. Far ahead, a pale structure began to rise from the horizon. A tower made entirely of glass. It spiraled upward like a frozen whirlpool, catching the dying sunlight and scattering it across the darkening sea. With every step Lyrian took toward it, the world around her bent, not unnaturally, but like a reflection being stretched. Shadows elongated, light condensed. Waves beneath the glass path slowed into syrup-like motion. Why is everything changing? She whispered. Because time feels you approaching, the lion answered. It remembers the one who carries its fracture. The fracture. Lyrian touched her chest, the place where the crack had always pulsed softly under her ribs, now burned like molten glass. It hurts. It has always hurt, the lion said gently. You simply never walked close enough to notice. The world flickered. Lyrian stumbled and held onto a shard for balance. In that instant, the shard brightened so intensely that it forced her eyes to close. When she opened them, she was no longer on the path. The first shattering, a vision of the ancient age. She stood inside a world made of light. Tall towers of translucent crystal rose around her. People moved through the streets, their bodies shimmering faintly as though they were part reflection, part memory. A battlefield lay beyond the horizon, the sky glowing red with storms of broken time. And in the center of the city stood a cathedral of pure glass. It's Valoran. The name came to her without thinking. The ancient age the elders spoke of only in fearful whispers. A deep tremor echoed through the vision, like the heartbeat of a dying colossus. "Why am I seeing this?" Lyrian whispered. The lion appeared beside her, not fully shaped, just an outline of shifting glass and starlight. "This is the age in which I was born," it said. "The age in which time broke." The earth shook. Cracks raced across the crystal towers, splintering them into thousands of glowing shards. People screamed, not from fear, from disbelief, as though they couldn't comprehend the concept of destruction. Glass froze in the air. Hours shattered. The sky broke into mirrored fragments that reflected impossible futures. Lyrian's breath caught. This is the shattering." "Yes, and you were born from this?" The lion lowered its translucent head. "I am the roar of a dying age, the fragment of a moment that did not survive, and the guardian of every broken second since." Lyrian trembled. "Why show me this?" "Because this catastrophe lives inside you." The world cracked violently, a thunderous scream of rupturing light, and the vision vanished. "Return to the path." Lyrian gasped as she returned to the glass walkway. The sea beneath her churned with pale reflections of the vision, as though the water had swallowed the memory whole. Her hands shook. "That world, it ended." "Yes," the lion said, "and another will end if you do not reach me." Lyrian closed her eyes. "I'm scared." "I know," the lion whispered, "but fear shapes you. It keeps you from breaking where time cannot." "Where are you?" she asked. The path ahead brightened, a trail of shards lighting one after another. "Follow the fractures. I am at the place where time fell silent." She walked again, though her legs trembled, and her heart felt too heavy for her chest. And slowly, the tower on the horizon grew clearer, a spiraling monument of broken time. The hour spire, the place where the glass lion waited, and where the world's next fracture would begin. Our spire was no ordinary tower. From the distance it looked like a spiraling monument rising from the ocean. Elegant, silent, flawless. But up close, it breathed. A slow, rhythmic expansion, like the inhale and exhale of a sleeping giant. Its surface shimmered with shifting reflections, some showing the world Lyrian knew, others showing worlds that could have been, and a few revealing moments that had never happened. As Lyrian stepped off the glass path, the tower's surface rippled under her touch, sending a wave of distorted time across its translucent walls. The crack in her chest pulsed in response. The tower recognized her, and it opened. A seam appeared, not like a door being carved, but like a moment being gently unstitched. Light spilled out soft and silver. Lyrian stepped inside. The hallway of reflected hours. The interior was vast. A spiraling hall stretched upward and downward, as if the tower didn't obey gravity or direction. Each step Lyrian took echoed twice, once in the present, and once a heartbeat ahead in the future. The walls were made of countless glass panes, each reflecting a version of her. Lyrian with silver hair. Lyrian as a child. Lyrian wearing armor she had never seen. Lyrian with eyes glowing like starlight. One reflection whispered, "You should not have come." Another murmured, "You were always meant to." She looked away, heart pounding. "This place," she whispered, "is a memory." The lion's voice answered from the air, warm and distant at the same time. The Hour Spire was built in the last days of Valoran, a monument to control what should never have been controlled. "Time?" Lyrian asked. "Yes." The hall darkened. Humans tried to shape it. They tried to anchor the hour that was never meant to be touched. And in doing so, the tower trembled. They shattered the world. The chamber of unending dawn. Lyrian pushed forward, until the spiraling hall opened into a vast circular room. She froze. The chamber was filled with suspended droplets of glowing glass, floating weightlessly like stars dusted across the night. Each droplet held a tiny moving scene inside. A girl dropping a cup and watching it break. A mother lifting her newborn for the first time. A lone soldier kneeling in a field of silent snow. A candle burning beside a sleeping child. A king signing a decree that would doom a kingdom. A woman stepping through an invisible door and vanishing. Every droplet was a single moment, preserved, fractured, looped. Lyrian reached toward one, pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. "Do not touch the hours," the lion warned quietly. "They do not belong to you, and they may mistake you for the one who shattered them." Lyrian withdrew her hand. "These are memories? These are futures," the lion corrected. "Futures that never came to be." Her skin prickled. The Hour Spire stores the lost roads of time, the choices the world was too fragile to carry. She shivered. "And I'm inside all of this? You are the fracture that connects them, the guardian of fractures." The chamber darkened suddenly. The droplets froze mid-glow. A cold wind swept across the room, though there were no windows, no openings, no air to move. The lion's voice grew sharper. "Something approaches." From the far side of the chamber, a figure stepped out of the silver fog. At first it looked like a person, tall, slender, wearing a cloak that swayed like drifting shadow. But its body had no details, no face, no hands, no edges. It was a silhouette carved from absence. Time bent around it. "What is that?" Lyrian whispered. The lion answered softly, "A chronovoid." The figure tilted its head, as if studying her. "They are born from the gaps between broken hours," the lion said. "Where time collapses, they rise." The silhouette took a step forward. Glass droplets shattered silently around its feet. "What does it want?" Lyrian breathed. "Balance," the lion answered, "or destruction. To them, both are the same." The chronovoid raised an arm, a limb made of shadow so sharp it looked like a tear in the world. Lyrian stumbled back. The droplets surrounding her flickered, flashing through hundreds of scenes per second. The room was screaming in silence. Then, the chronovoid lunged. The moment that broke twice. Time shattered around her. Not metaphorically. The air split into ribbons of light. Her heartbeat echoed in reverse. Her breath folded back into her chest. Her vision split into 3 overlapping timelines. one where she ran, one where she stood her ground, and one where she simply ceased to exist. Her knees buckled. "Lyrian!" the lion roared, not a whisper this time, but a seismic tremor that shook the entire chamber. The translucent outline of the glass lion materialized between her and the chronovoid, mane blazing like crystal fire. Its roar crushed the rushing timelines into a single path. The chronovoid halted, its form quivering with static and distortion. "Go back," the lion commanded. "This one is under my protection." The chronovoid's head tilted again. Then its shape thinned, fading into a long vertical line, and vanished like a crack sealing itself. Silence washed over the chamber. Lyrian collapsed to her hands. What just happened?" "You witnessed a split second," the lion said, kneeling beside her. "A moment that tried to become two." She looked up weakly. "I can't do this. I'm not strong enough. I barely understand what's happening." The lion's eyes softened. "You are stronger than you believe, not because of power, but because of fracture." Lyrian trembled. "I'm broken." "You are unfinished," the lion corrected gently. "And that is where your strength lies." The stairs of unraveling time. A doorway opened at the far end of the chamber. A tall archway of shimmering glass, shaped like an hourglass turned sideways. Silver mist drifted from its threshold. "This leads deeper," the lion said, "to the heart of the hour spire." "What's there?" "The moment that began everything." "The first shattering?" "Yes." "And—" she hesitated. "You!" The lion nodded. "I wait at the center of the tower, the place where the first hour broke, and where the last will break if we do nothing." Lyrian forced herself to her feet. The crack in her chest pulsed again, warmer now, almost guiding. The lion lowered its head to her level. "What you face next will not be visions," it warned. "They will be truths, realities, the echo of every second your world survived." Lyrian swallowed. "I'm ready." The lion's translucent mane rippled, casting rainbows across the chamber. "No," it whispered, "but you are willing, and that is enough." Together, the hour where everything ends. The stairway ahead twisted vertically and horizontally at once, descending and ascending in impossible geometry. Time pooled here, heavy, thick, as if the moments themselves could not decide in which direction they should flow. Every step felt like walking through memory, not her memories, the world's. The lion moved beside her, his paws silent on the glass. "We are nearing the convergence," it said. "What happens there? The same thing that happened ages ago, unless you change it." Lyrian gripped the railing, a spiraling beam of glass that felt warm, as though it remembered every hand that had ever touched it. "Why me?" she whispered again. "Why was I born with this fracture?" "Because the world needed someone who could stand between moments," the lion replied. "Someone who is not wholly bound to one timeline. Someone who can see the cracks." She lowered her gaze. "I didn't ask for this. No one who saves a world ever does." The stairway ended. Before them opened a vast chamber, a spherical room lit with swirling threads of light. And at its center, floating above a platform of cracked glass, was a frozen moment. A single second, caught mid-unraveling. Inside it, time twisted like wounded silk. Colors stretched, shadows bent. The laws of existence frayed into delicate ribbons. The lion's voice dropped to a whisper. This is the first shattering. Lyrian stared at it. The moment pulsed faintly, like a dying heartbeat. She stepped closer, and the crack in her chest glowed so brightly it illuminated the room. The lion watched her quietly. "You feel it, don't you?" it asked. "Yes," she whispered. "It's calling me." The secret of Lyrian's birth. As she approached the suspended moment, something inside it shifted. A silhouette, a small shape, a child. Her breath froze. "Who is that?" The lion did not answer immediately. The moment pulsed again. The silhouette curled within it, glowing faintly with fractured light. Finally, the lion said softly, "That is you." Lyrian's heart stopped. "What? No, that's impossible. I wasn't born until—" "You were not born then," the lion corrected. "You were born from then." She stared at the glowing child, time swirling around its small form like a protective cocoon of broken hours. "You were not carried by a mother," the lion said gently. "You were carried by a moment." Her legs nearly gave way. "No, no, that can't be. You are the last surviving piece of the hour that broke," the lion said, "and the only one who can decide whether time shatters again." Lyrian's eyes filled with tears. "Then, I'm not even real." The lion lowered its shimmering head. "You are real because you live, because you choose, because you walk, because you fear, because you refuse to turn away." When Lyrian touched the suspended moment, the world shattered, but not into darkness, into light. Light fractured into 1,000 ribbons, each strip pulsing with the heartbeat of a different age. Some glowed with the warmth of centuries yet to come. Others flickered with the dimming embers of eras long forgotten. Lyrian floated in the center of it, weightless, breathless, barely herself. She reached for a single ribbon, and it curled gently around her wrist like a thread of soft fire. Within the ribbon she saw a cradle of glass, holding a small shimmering shape, a child, herself. She staggered back. The lion's voice reached her, distant and heavy. "Do not fear what you see. Fear only what you refuse to understand." "I'm not human," Lyrian whispered, the truth dissolving inside her like sand. "I'm a fragment." "You are a life born from a broken second," the lion said gently. "But you are alive all the same." The moment pulsed again, a wave of heat rolling outward, carrying a booming echo. The first shattering is not done. Lyrian grabbed her chest as the crack inside her widened. A burst of white gold light spilled between her fingers. "It's breaking," she gasped. "I'm breaking." "No." The lion's voice steadied her. "It is awakening. The fall of Valoran, the truth of the shattering." The light ribbons twisted, merging into a single sweeping vision. Lyrian stood, not in the hour spire, not in her world, but above a dying empire. Valoran burned beneath her feet. Crystal towers split like brittle bone. The sky darkened with glittering debris. People ran across bridges made of shattering light, their forms glitching in and out of existence. The air bent, time bent, reality folded. This, Lyrian whispered, this is when you were born. No, the lion answered. This is when you were born. A colossal rip tore open the sky, vomiting ribbons of refracted time. Slabs of history cracked like ice sheets. Centuries fell upward. Moments fell sideways. At the heart of the chaos was a man, cloaked in flowing glass robes, hands gripping an hourglass filled with spiraling luminescence. The chronarch, the lion said, the one who sought to command eternity. Lyrian watched as the man rotated the hourglass, and time screamed. The world split into prisms. Moments broke like shards, and from the heart of the fracture, from a collapsing second that could no longer hold itself, a small glowing shape drifted out, silent, complete, impossibly delicate. A child. Her. Lyrian reached for the child, but her hand passed through the vision. No one meant to create me, she whispered. I wasn't born. I was made by accident. The lion's mane flickered. No, you were not born from an accident. You were born from a choice. What choice? The choice of time itself, the lion said. When the chronarch shattered the first hour, time chose to save one piece, one fragile piece, that could one day hold the world together. Lyrian's throat tightened. Why me? Because you were the only one pure enough to carry a broken world. The chronarch returns. The vision cracked. A low rumble cut through the light, and from the horizon of the memory, a shadow rose like a tower of swirling fragments. The chronarch, not as he had been in the past, but as he existed now, as a phantom built from fractured hours, turned its eyeless face toward her. He sees me, Lyrian whispered in terror. This is just a vision. How can he see me? He sees the fracture you carry, the lion said, and he wants it. The chronarch raised a hand. Across the dying city, time buckled. Buildings collapsed in reverse. Light folded. Darkness splintered. He is not alive, the lion growled. He is a remnant, a ghost of intention, born from the moment that created you. The chronarch's voice slithered through the vision. Return the shard. Return what is mine. Lyrian backed away. The vision cracked again, and a beam of fractured energy shot from the chronarch's hand, striking her chest. Lyrian screamed as the crack inside her split wider, a bright fissure erupting from her heart to her throat. The world vanished. The room of splintered heartbeats. She collapsed onto the hourspire floor. The glass lion roared, its mane blazing with crystal fire as it circled her. Her heartbeat was distorted, coming in pairs, then in triplets, then skipping entirely. Lyrian, the lion said urgently, you must breathe. I can't. He touched me. He split me further. The lion lowered its head, pressing its cold, glass muzzle to her forehead. Listen to me, it said. You are not cracking. You are merging. With what? She gasped. With yourself. Light spilled from her chest, in waves of silver and gold, as another heartbeat overlapped her own, smaller, faster. The heartbeat of the child she saw in the suspended moment. The child she once was. You are rejoining the moment you were born from, the lion said softly. The shattered hour is calling itself home. Her breath steadied, her pulse aligned. The crack on her chest glowed softly, a single unbroken line of gold. For the first time, she felt whole. The second shattering begins. The tower shook violently, glass panels flickering in and out of existence. The second shattering, the lion whispered. The Chronarch has awakened the hour that broke you. He means to finish what he began ages ago. A massive fissure opened in the air, a vertical wound dripping shards of raw time. Through it, Lyrian saw a battlefield where time loops collided, a desert where shadows walked backward, a sky that bled spirals of light, a figure waiting at the center of it all. The Chronarch. The lion stepped onto the threshold of the rift. Lyrian, it said quietly, you must step into the wound of time. Will I survive? I do not know, but if you don't, the world will not. Lyrian trembled. Then she stepped into the fracture. The fall through time. She fell across centuries. Children born, mountains rising, civilizations collapsing, stars igniting. At the end of the fall, a silver platform appeared. The glass lion appeared beside her. This is the inner heart, it said. Ribbons of time circled them like gentle storms. At the center stood the Chronarch, waiting. The lion's voice lowered. Lyrian, this is where the world breaks, or heals. Her voice cracked. What must I do? You must confront the moment you were born from, and choose to keep it or destroy it forever. And she understood. The inner heart of time. The inner heart was silent, not peaceful, but tense, as if the entire universe held a breath, and waited to see who would exhale first. Lyrian stood on the silver platform, her boots sinking slightly into its surface, as if the metal remembered the weight of every footstep that had ever stood here before. Ribbons of fractured time circled around her, thin currents of glowing color and shadow, spiraling slowly, singing softly like distant echoes of forgotten lullabies. The lion stood beside her, its glass mane shimmering with quiet electricity. Before them, at the center of the chamber, hovered a single glowing object, a second, suspended, preserved, straining against its own existence. A small glowing sphere, no larger than a child's heart, pulsing with the light of a world on the brink. Her world. This, the lion said softly, is the moment that split you from the hour that created you. Lyrian's breath caught. Inside the glowing sphere, she saw the faint silhouette of a child, curled like a flicker of light, sleeping within the broken second. It's me, she whispered, or who I was. Yes, the lion murmured, and who you still are. The sphere brightened, and the Chronarch stepped forward. The Chronarch's demand. He was taller here, more defined, no longer a mere phantom built from absence. His body was woven from thin fractures of light, each edge sharp as a blade, each movement cracking the air around him. When he spoke, his voice sounded like shattered glass sliding over stone. You have brought her to me, he said to the lion. You have brought my hour home. I did not bring her, the lion growled. She walked here of her own will. She walks on borrowed time, the Chronarch replied. And time always returns to its maker. Lyrian stepped forward, shaking. I'm not yours. You are entirely mine, he whispered. You are the shard I preserved in the moment I shattered. You are the only piece that survived my failure. He raised a hand. The suspended second trembled, as if recognizing him. You belong to this moment. Return to it. Rejoin it. Complete the hour. And I will rewrite the world cleanly. The lion roared, glass sparks flying from its mane. You will end everything. I will fix everything. The chronarch corrected. He extended his hand toward Lyrian. Come, little shard. Fulfill your purpose. Lyrian felt her heart tighten. The crack inside her glowed with a soft ache, pulling her toward the suspended moment. It wants me, she whispered. The second. It's calling me. The lion stepped between her and the chronarch. You choose your fate, Lyrian. Not the moment. Not the world. Not him. But the chronarch's voice was honeyed poison. You are incomplete. A fragment pretending to be whole. Join with your origin, and you will be perfect. Lyrian trembled. Was she incomplete? Was she meant to return? Was she living on borrowed existence? The sphere pulsed, a soft, desperate heartbeat, and her chest pulsed in answer. The lion's voice dropped to a whisper. Do not confuse a call with a command. Lyrian closed her eyes and chose to breathe, the fracture inside her. When she opened her eyes, something had shifted, not outside, inside, the crack in her chest. The golden line that had burned since her birth began to glow more intensely. It did not widen. It did not split. It opened. Light spilled from her, soft and shimmering, not chaotic, not painful, warm, like dawn sneaking through a cracked door. The ribbons of time circling around her slowed their spiral and drifted toward her chest, not to attack, to touch, as if each ribbon recognized her, loved her, remembered her. What is this? She whispered. The lion's voice softened. That is the truth of you. And the chronarch hissed. No, no, this cannot be. She is not meant to awaken. Lyrian fell to her knees, as the light within her rose like a tide. Images flooded her mind, not fragments this time, but entire chapters of a life she had never lived. She saw the moment she was born from, but she also saw what the hour had wanted. Not destruction, not rewriting, but survival. She saw the chronarch, a man broken by grief, trying to save a dying empire by freezing its final moment. She saw the lion, a roar made solid, a guardian of the hour the world had lost. And she saw herself, the child the moment saved, not because she was special, but because she was possible. She understood. She was not a mistake. She was a choice made by time, a choice made by the world, a choice made to give the future a chance. Lyrian stood. I am not yours. The light inside her answered. I never was. The offer. The chronarch recoiled as she approached. Lyrian, child of my hour, stop this. You cannot exist without returning to your origin. That's where you're wrong, she whispered. She stopped before him, chest glowing with warm, gentle light. You think I need to return to the moment that made me. But the truth is, the moment needs me. The chronarch froze. Lyrian lifted her hand, and the suspended second drifted toward her. The child shape inside it stirred, as if sensing her presence. Lyrian's breath took on a trembling rhythm. "This is what you want me to return to," she said softly. A second that never learned how to move forward. The Chronarcha's voice cracked. "It is the perfect moment, the moment before the end. If you rejoin it, I can restart everything. I can save Valorin. I can save the world I lost." Lyrian shook her head gently. "You're trying to save the past, by killing the future." The Chronarch reached for her, but the lion stepped between them, eyes blazing with fractured starlight. "Enough," the lion growled. "You cannot steal her existence." The Chronarcha's voice broke. "I am not stealing it. I am completing it." Lyrian closed her hand around the suspended second. Pulsed like a heartbeat. She inhaled. She exhaled. And she spoke. "I choose my own life." The shattering of destiny. The sphere glowed fiercely in her palm. The child inside it opened its eyes. Eyes made of swirling ribbons of time. Her eyes. And then, the sphere cracked. A thin fracture line traced its surface, like a golden seam. The Chronarch screamed, "No! You cannot break the moment. You will end all things." But Lyrian didn't break it. She merged with it. The crack on her chest aligned with the crack in the sphere. The two pieces of one life became whole. Light erupted, not in violence, not in destruction, in completion. The child dissolved into radiant dust, flowing into Lyrian's chest, filling the fracture with warmth. Lyrian felt something shift inside her, a sense of being finished, a sense of being real, a sense of being truly alive. The Chronarch collapsed to his knees, his form flickering wildly. "The moment, my moment, you destroyed it." "No," the lion said quietly. "She transformed it." Lyrian's voice trembled with exhaustion. "I didn't destroy time. I gave it back its missing piece." The sphere dissolved into her skin, and for the first time in her life, her chest was whole, smooth, unbroken, warm. The Chronarch writhed. "You have doomed us all." "No," Lyrian whispered. "I've freed us. The new hour begins." The ribbons of time around the chamber shifted direction, flowing upward, toward Lyrian. They swirled around her in rising spirals, casting the room in mesmerizing color. The silver heart platform shook. The lion bowed its head. "Lyrian, you have become the anchor of the new hour." The Chronarch trembled, his body flickering between past and present. "This cannot be. Time cannot serve a mortal." "She is not time's servant," the lion said. "She is its guide." Lyrian's voice softened. "I am the first second of the future." A soft wind swept through the chamber, carrying the scent of dawn. A new hour had begun. But the Chronarch rose one last time, desperate, burning, unstable. "You may have stolen my hour, but you cannot stop what comes next." Lyrian looked at him steadily. "What comes next?" The Chronarch smiled a broken, crooked smile. "The final fracture." The chamber trembled. The lights flickered. Something vast, moved in the darkness above them. The lion stepped protectively in front of Lyrian. "Get behind me." Lyrian swallowed, heart steady. For the first time in her existence, What is happening? The lion's eyes glowed like twin galaxies. The inner heart trembled, not like a tower shaking, like a world exhaling its last breath. Above Lyrian and the lion, the ceiling dissolved into swirling darkness, a void threaded with strips of broken color, as if someone had torn the sky into ribbons and left them drifting in an endless, starless night. A deep cracking sound shuddered through the chamber. Lyrian looked up. What is that? The lion's mane blazed brighter, shards of refracted starlight rippling through each strand. The final fracture, it said. The wound in time that the chronarch has kept sealed for centuries. Now that you have awakened, it is opening. The chronarch staggered to his feet, barely a shape now, his form flickering between past and present, like a candle fighting its own flame. You have doomed us, he hissed. Time cannot sustain itself without its perfect anchor. You were meant to be that anchor, a child forever preserved, not a woman who chooses. Lyrian stepped forward, breath steady. I'm not here to be preserved. I'm here to live. The chronarch lunged, but the lion blocked him, slamming a paw of shimmering glass into his chest, sending him skidding across the fractured platform. Your hour is over, the lion growled, but the chronarch laughed, broken and hollow. You cannot stop what is coming. He lifted a trembling hand toward the widening tear in the sky. Because this world was doomed long before her birth. The void split open. A bellowing roar echoed from within. Deep, ancient, mournful. Lyrian shuddered. What is that? The lion's voice lowered. The first creature time ever rejected. The beast that shattered time. From the gaping wound in the sky, a massive silhouette emerged, slow, heavy, dragging itself through centuries, as if wading through an ocean of memories. It was beautiful and terrifying, a lion made of splintered glass, colossal, its mane a storm of fractured hours, its eyes twin spirals of collapsing timelines. It looked like the lion beside her, and yet not at all. This? Lyrian breathed. This is you. The lion bowed its head. This is what I once was, it said softly. The first guardian of time, before I tore myself apart. Lyrian's heart twisted. You shattered yourself to save the world from the chronarch. The lion nodded, and the part of me that broke away became this, the beast that shattered time. The beast roared again, sending spirals of collapsing minutes, crashing toward them. The chronarch smiled weakly. Your creation comes to finish you, glass lion, and when it does, I will reclaim the pieces. The lion stepped forward, trembling. Lyrian, I cannot defeat what I once was. The beast lunged, the chamber shaking with each step. Lyrian grabbed the lion's mane, pulling herself close. You don't have to defeat it, she whispered, because it's not your enemy. The lion turned sharply toward her. What do you mean? You didn't break apart to destroy it, Lyrian said. You broke apart to free it, to give the world a guardian strong enough, to survive the first shattering. The beast staggered, as if hearing her voice. Its roars softened, becoming a low, wounded growl. Lyrian stepped toward it. The lion shouted, Lyrian, stop! But she didn't. She approached the beast, hand glowing with the golden light she now carried. The beast lowered its massive head, glass shards trembling in its mane. Lyrian reached up and placed her palm against its face. The chamber fell silent. The void quieted. The beast closed its eyes, and the ribbons of time swirling around its body flowed gently into Lyrian's crackless chest. A glow spread across the beast, not bright, not violent, gentle, like morning. The beast dissolved into drifting particles of soft, iridescent light. Lyrian gasped as the light merged with her, not burning, not overwhelming, simply becoming part of her. When the last spark vanished, she fell to her knees, breathing hard. The lion rushed to her. "Lyrian, are you?" She swallowed. "I'm fine. It didn't hurt." She placed a hand over her heart. It came home. The lion stared at her, in awe, fear, joy. "You carry the first guardian now. Its power, its memory, its roar." Lyrian stood. The air around her rippled softly, moments bending with her breath. "I'm not a shard anymore," she whispered. "I'm whole." The fall of the Chronarch. The Chronarch watched in silent horror. No, this wasn't meant to happen. She wasn't meant to become. Lyrian turned toward him, her steps slow, steady, inevitable. "You wanted to control time," she said. "But time chose me, not because I'm powerful, but because I'm alive." The Chronarch laughed bitterly. "What will you do? Kill me? Erase me from the hour?" Lyrian shook her head. "No, but time will no longer hold you." She lifted her hand. A gentle stream of light flowed from her and touched the Chronarch's collapsing form. He crumpled, letting out a broken gasp. "What are you doing?" "I'm releasing you," she whispered. "You don't have to keep fighting the moment you lost. You can rest now." The Chronarch looked at her with something like gratitude, struggling through the fractures of his fading face. Then he dissolved, quietly, like a candle blown out by a warm breath. The void sealed behind him. Silence returned. The last hour. Lyrian felt the chamber shifting, not violently, gently, like a room exhaling after a long-held tension. The spiraling ribbons of time aligned around her in soft, glowing arcs. "You've done it," the lion whispered. "You've ended the cycle. Time is free." Lyrian looked at her hands glowing with warm, soft light. "What am I now?" she whispered. The lion stepped close, pressing its forehead to hers. "You are the second that lived," it said. "You are the choice time made to move forward." Lyrian closed her eyes, trembling. "What happens to me after this?" The lion's voice softened. "You live." The chamber dimmed, moments settling into a new rhythm, a new hour, a world reborn. Lyrian breathed deeply, and for the first time, the breath belonged entirely to her. Epilogue. The second that walked. When Lyrian stepped out of the hour spire, the world was different, not changed, alive. Colors felt warmer. The wind felt younger. Even shadows seemed to breathe easier. The lion walked beside her, smaller now, gentler, its form stabilized by her presence. "Where do we go now?" she asked. "Anywhere," the lion said. "Time is open to you now. Every hour, every possibility, awaits your step. Lyrian looked at the horizon, where dawn was breaking, in soft ribbons of gold. Then let's walk, she whispered. Together, they stepped into the new hour, the lion of glass, and the second that lived. A world ahead, a life ahead, a future unbroken. And time followed them, softly, like a loyal companion.